This is Saurabh, and you're listening to my favorite talk show, The Weekly Show with Aditya.
Whether they are conducted online or offline, exams are the real pandemic, and this has been seen over the past 10 months as various educational bodies under pressure by various institutions are striving to conduct exams either in online mode or offline mode or through open book exam measures, and this has backfired as has been seen over the past 10 months. From minor technical issues like students not being able to upload their answer sheets on the portal of various schools and universities, and the universities due to an archaic software not able to confirm whether they received the said assignments or examination papers from the students, and this has led to so many issues cropping up. When will the result come? When will the students be able to go for higher studies and so on and so forth? But even the ideology of having an open book exam hasn't held because the operating word is exam. Were alternatives explored by such educational bodies to have some other way of assessing students apart from examinations where their skills are not tested and they are forced to mug up answers and force themselves to write as per the needs of what the said educational bodies and various educational institutes want? In that context, 2020 has not been any kind of learning or adapting to change if that's the way things are to progress. Apart from the pseudo idea of being scared of an illusionary virus, nothing else has changed. Then the central education body which conducts exam for school students, especially the passing out classes, has decided to conduct exams, and it's back to square one, stuck in the same rut. The same mistakes will be conducted. We will be judging students by how many marks they score in their school leaving exams. Such exams are an event that as and when they start, the entire country freezes. All the talk about new educational policy and how it will allow students to actually understand the subject they study, and more than just mugging up answers, if the said exams are conducted, it's back to square one, which means it fuels the pseudo coaching centers again. In that context, it's a poor decision by the governing body to even contemplate organizing the exams because so much time is lost by the students in thinking about this. Now that this particular piece of news is out, what will the students think? I have to start studying. I have to get good marks so that I can get 98% and then I can get admission in a prestigious university. It's a vicious circle. Examinations are conducted, students get 98, 99%, which means the universities put their cutoff system at 98, 99%, which further fuels the placement systems of these universities. It's an amusing situation that we get carried away by placements of students from various institutions because it is exactly opposite of what the new education policy proposes. Then what is the point of having this educational policy when back to the ancient accepted norm of having exams, getting into a good college and then being placed into a good company? If that is the way things are going to work, then the new educational policy is a waste of everybody's time. Should exams be done away with? Yes, in one fell swoop, just announce that exams are done. No more board exams, no more entrance exams. And there are plenty of alternatives if you want to get admission in good institutes. But will it be that easy to just cancel exams, whether they are entrance exams or school leaving exams, especially in this part of the world? Because the hypothesis is that without exams, students don't study. If students don't study, then they don't learn. If they don't learn, then they don't progress. So we need some kind of way to assess the students' aptitude and learning abilities. So the idea of exams, even though they are an archaic system, have to remain embedded as far as the educational part of a country is concerned. Knowing that the examinations are due to take place sometime in 2021, the schools would get fired up, the teachers will know that they have something to do, they will start finishing syllabus quickly. Practice exams will be conducted whether it's online or offline mode by various institutions to check if the students have been studying in the online mode. And it's a universal truth that in India, once the examination season begins, students are anyways in a lockdown mode, whether there was any kind of pandemic or no pandemic. Then let's accept the fact that students study because there are exams. They open their books for the first time only because they have to go through this horror show called examinations. Because if there were no examinations, they would have no idea what was the subject they were studying in that particular year, whether it's school or college. And I've seen that students don't study the entire year, and 10 days before the exams, when they realize that this examination will propel them to the next semester or the next year, they suddenly open their books, they pretend to study, and they become these individuals who are very serious when they have wasted the entire year doing nothing or even understanding the subject. Or students pretending not to do any other activity apart from just focusing on exams, because these exams will shape their future as far as their future job prospects or higher educational studies are concerned. And if this is the mindset individuals come with, then it's nothing more than a waste of time. And exams, whether they are school leaving, entrance, or any other examination, will be labeled as an pandemic for times to come. Tonight's song sums up the year 2020. Utpatanga kite hatte kite tanga pratikukdi tendi banga te chakde fatte e dunya khel tamasha e teri meri bhasha e tishbish thadun tusha e chakde fatte ए दुनिया उठ पटांगा खेल तमाशा ए टेढ़ी मेढ़ी भाषा ए टिश तांडू ठू शूशा ए चक दे फट्टे ए चक दे चक दे चक दे चक दे चक दे फट्टे चक दे चक दे चक दे चक दे चक दे चक दे फट्टे let me say चक दे चक दे चक दे चक दे चक दे फट्टे चक दे चक दे चक दे चक दे चक दे चक दे फट्टे चक दे चक दे चक दे चक दे फट्टे चक दे फट्टे चक दे ए दुनिया मस्त कलंदर चा उठे बैठा बंदर सबने अपनों से कंदर ए चक दे फट्टे ए दुनिया भारी भारी चक दे सारे नर नारी तू कान्यू बना भिखारी ए चक दे फट्टे मस्त कलंदर ए दुनिया बारी बारी चक दे सारे नर नारी तू कानू बनिया भिखारी ए चक दे फट्टे 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 चक दे ए दुनिया उठ पटांगा कित हत्ते किते टांगा रति कुकड़ी देंगी पांगा ए चक दे फट्टे ए दुनिया खेल तमाशा ए टेढ़ी मेढ़ी भाषा ए तिश्विश ताशू शूशा ए चक दे फट्टे देंगी पांगा ए चक दे फट्टे ए दुनिया खेल तमाशा ए टेढ़ी मेढ़ी भाषा ए तिश्विश ताशू शूशा ए चक दे फट्टे चक दे फट्टे चक दे फट्टे चक दे फट्टे Lady Hoggin said to her husband, "Funny, this tonic tastes quite different. It hasn't got that bitter taste anymore. I wonder why." Sir Joseph growled, "Chemist, careless fellows, make things up differently different times." Lady Hoggin said doubtfully, "I suppose that must be it." "Of course it is. What else could it be? Has the man found out anything about Shan Tung?" "Yes, he got me my money back all right." "Who was it?" "He didn't say. Very close fellow, Hercule-Poirot, but you needn't worry. He's a funny little man, isn't he?" Sir Joseph gave a slight shiver and threw a sideways glance upwards as though he felt the invisible presence of Hercule Poirot behind his right shoulder. He had an idea that he would always feel it there. A damned clever little devil. And he thought to himself, "Greta can go hang. I'm not going to risk my neck for any damned platinum blonde." "Oh!" Amy Carnaby gazed down incredulously at the cheque for £200. She cried, "Emily, Emily, listen to this. Dear Miss Carnaby, allow me to enclose a contribution to your very deserving fund before it is finally wound up. Yours very truly, Hercule Poirot." "Amy," said Emily Carnaby, "you have been incredibly lucky. Think where you might be now." "Wormwood Scrubs, or is it Holloway?" murmured Amy Carnaby. "But that's all over now, isn't it, Augustus? No more walks to the park with mother or mother's friends and a little pair of scissors?" A far-away wistfulness came into her eyes. She sighed. "Dear Augustus, it seems a pity. He is so clever. One can teach him anything." Spiffy took it big. She shook from wind-swept hair to do shoe sole, and if she hadn't clutched at Stinker's arm, might have taken for a toss. One could understand her emotion. She had been coasting along, confident that she had it made, and suddenly out of a blue and smiling sky these words of doom. No doubt it was the suddenness and unexpectedness of the wallop that unmanned her, if you can call it unmanning when it happens to be a girl. I suppose she was feeling very much as Spood had felt when Emerald Stoker's basin had connected with his occiput. Her eyes bulged and her voice came out in a passionate squeak. "But Uncle Watkin, you promised." I could have told her she was wasting her breath trying to appeal to the old buzzard's better feelings because magistrates, even when X don't have any. The tremolo in her voice might have been expected to melt what is usually called a heart of stone, but it had no more effect on Pop Basse than the chirping of the household canary. Provisionally only, he said. I was not aware when I did so that Mr. Pinker had brutally assaulted Roderick. At these words, Stinker, who had been listening to the exchanges in a rigid sort of a way, creating the illusion that he had been stuffed by a good taxidermist, came suddenly to life, though as all he did was make a sound like the last drops of water going out of a bath tub. It was hardly worth the trouble and expense. He succeeded, however, in attracting Pop Basse's attention, and the latter gave him the eye. It was normally one of the safest places on earth, but not today. The J. Edgar Hoover building was the world headquarters of the FBI. It opened in 1975 and had not aged well. A blocks long chunk of badly dilapidated concrete with honeycomb windows and fire alarms and toilets that didn't work. There was even safety netting strung around the top of the building to catch chunks of crumbling concrete before they could fall to the street below and kill someone. The Bureau was trying to build a new facility to house 11,000 employees, but a new location hadn't even been chosen. So the opening of a new headquarters was about $2 billion and 7 years away. For now, this was home. The tall man striding down the tree-lined sidewalk was Walter Dabney. He had taken an Uber to a coffee shop down the street, ordered some food, and was now walking the rest of the way. He was in his 60s with thinning salt and pepper hair parted on the side. It looked recently cut with a bit of cowlick in the back. His suit was expensive and fit his portly frame with the touch of a tailored hand. A colorful pocket square adorned the front of his dark suit. He wore a lanyard around his neck loaded with clearances sufficient to allow him access into the inner sanctums of the Hoover building with an escort along for the ride. His green eyes were alert. He walked with a determined swagger, his briefcase making pendulum arcs in the air.
For more awesome content, tune in to the next episode of the weekly show with Agatha.